Okay, we're back and we're going to watch the bronze medal match for the VNL here. And it is Brazil versus Slovenia. Two stacked teams, the 3 and 4 here for the VNL. Let's see who comes out three. It's Brazil. Spoiler. And for Brazil, it's the Souzas again. All three Darlan, unless they have him numbered wrong. Fernando looks like he's running the offense again, which in the last game that we watched of Brazil, he actually was really connecting super well towards the end, but I don't think it wasn't enough. But yeah, and then we switch here to Slovenia, and Slovenia has Stern, Mojic. Looks like he was the guy here. Wasn't enough, sadly. But yeah, let's get into it. Here we go. Turn my brightness a little bit. Okay. Lucarelli starting us off here. And, I really like Lucarelli's game. He played with TJ Falco in Japan last year, and he was in and out. I mean, they had a stacked roster, but he might have been just dealing with injuries, but he's a fun player to watch. He's maybe 6'4", just athletic, plays a clean game, plays an explosive and fun game. And then Henrique on the outside here. And you know what? I'm not going to lie. The past few games that we've watched that Bergman guy playing, and I'm not a fan, really. Not really too big of a fan for him. But I like this right here. Connection here on the 3. Swings through, just a fast arm swing, gets through it. Finds a nice angle. And again, if you're in middle, you're going to have a fast arm swing. You're going to have to close fast and probably start your arm swing earlier than you usually think. Big serve, Lucarelli. And again, look at that. Time. Let's watch it again. Super clean pass. Look at the space that he creates by backing up there and just giving himself a little bit of angle. And one thing that I've noticed with super physical guys, a tip like this will work with guys like that, guys that can just get up, OT somebody, and swing super deep. And these guys are all just sat in. This libero is just ready to get blown up, and a little quick tip like that, as long as he doesn't show it early. Look at how late he shows this. He's pulled, he's ready, and then just quickly tips it over. And it works out. But if you're constantly tipping, nobody's going to have that posture there where you can trick them. Yeah. What the heck happened here? This middle got caught in quicksand here. Loaded himself a little bit too much and then just was super late. Got a weird jump. He's leaning and going away super far. And, I'll say this. If you are drifting on your jump a lot, it's going to be really hard for you to grab that ball and throw it down like this guy's trying to, and then something like this might happen. It just kind of sneaks by your fingers and it's not able to get dug. And again, right here, you have to be really quick with all your moves, and he's just a little bit too slow. Doesn't get his angle over there. Gets aced. Perfect pass. Back here. Off the hands. They're in transition. Really good transition play. And it just looks like Mojic kind of missed some hands there. Might have missed some hands. Went out of bounds. But it looks like he got him. I guess he challenged it. Let's check. Yeah, they must have just called a touch there. Good by Lucarelli to pass this ball here. Again, just that smoothness to him, just that small tiny adjustment of leaning back so he can make the right angle. You're going to have to move your body in the same way that a middle might have to lean one way, or a hitter for that matter might have to lean one way so that they can hit a ball correctly. It's even more specific back here when you're passing, because you have to move your body around so you can make the right angle, And you want to use all the tools available to you. You don't want to just use your platform. You don't want to just use your legs to get to the ball and have it be in your in your midline every time. Like, it's just not realistic. So you just got to have every single thing available to you. These routes get a little bit shifty here. I don't know. These routes get a little bit weird. He's almost jumping on him, and then he throws into the block and just gets a soft touch there. Gets blocked. Oh, never mind there. It's still up. And Modric just brings it down. Yeah, and Modric just doesn't swing deep here. You know, last game he had a similar play like this where he didn't really have much of an approach, had to go up, and just maybe was late on the arm swing or something, contacted a little bit low, brought it down into the net, into the block. And like with something like that, you just want to swing deep, give your blockers time, but also force the defense to make a decent play. You know, because you're obviously not really gonna get a huge kill there for the most of the time, and so you're gonna have to just hedge your bets, put pressure on. That's a huge swing. And look at how he turns his body with that ball there and just swings through. That's a huge, huge swing. And then it's just perfectly in that corner there. Wow, that is magnificent. Watch him, watch that ball. He sees the ball, but then as that ball travels over, watch his shoulders open up. He's opening up. Ball's in front of his right shoulder. As he hits that ball, bang, he can take it wherever he wants. Huge. One more time, let's see it. He doesn't have much of an approach, but this is what Modric needs to be doing on that type of ball that he just made that error on, you know? Reverse float into the hands in the middle. Back there on the D. Outside. Lucarelli. And, like, I love how he can just draw that arm open and just swing through. Like, he uses his whole torso every single time. Like, he opens his body up so far. Look at how far back this right shoulder is. And then when he finishes, it's all the way forward. Like, he just goes all the way through. And that allows him to get so much more power, probably better hand contact. And because of all that, he's going to get more kills, you know? Lucarelli leaves early there, but it looks like a misconnection. Or this guy just tried to chop it for some reason. But that's a better swing than what Modric did last time. Okay, still both the same thing where he's like not really getting much from approach, but at least he's going soft block there, and they end up being in the net. You know, don't end your play. Force the other team to like earn the play. Okay, don't make your own error. Wow, Modric, he's up there though. Like, oh, that's crazy. He doesn't close the block super well, so he does it with his arms. But then Lucarelli swings there just because that's what he was doing, you know. And then that same thing where he's tipping, so he draws super hard and then tips. And it's not super high, it's just barely above that block, and it drops because of that. On these tips, you don't want to give this team, like, you don't want to give that team a ton of time. I would, I don't know, I guess you don't really want to miss low on it because you don't want to get blocked on a tip. But kind of like this is just a little bit too slow. Or it goes up a little bit. It's still not a bad tip, but forces him to dive. But even so, like this tip here, it takes Modric out of being an option. And they only have, well, two options because it's in the way of the middle. And then let's see what happens here. Good soft touch. They're out of system, sadly. And lots of scramble here, Modric dives down that line, opens up that seam, and it goes through. And I'm not going to lie, that play that Modric just made where he dove line, it worked out. But as a coach, I wouldn't want him to be making that move because that could have easily tooled him by opening up that seam there. Or gone through and been inbounds through that seam there. You know, and like, I don't know, they're out of system. They have a solid double block up there. The middle's going to close well. Oof, I like that run. I like this run a lot too because for me, as I'm seeing this pass, I'm focusing on Mojic a lot right now. But then you see Darlin Allen, Souza. Sorry, not Darlin Allen, Souza Allen. I don't know how their names work. But just a really nice contact. And look at how high he contacts this too. Like he draws this, elbow goes first, and he just gets on top of that ball and like just gives a little bit of wrist action on it just to keep that ball downward. And like if you're putting some pace on it by doing that and just giving it a little bit extra direction to where it wants to go, that's really nice. Again, I was talking to someone earlier. You don't want to get happy feet. And it looks like this right side gets a little bit of happy feet. So many steps. And this is him selling out instead of being balanced and then reacting. He guessed, he gambled, and he ended up not being up there for that block because of that. Good run. Again, like Fernando, when he's hitting these middles, it's really tough. And I assume, like I think I said in one of the other games, I said like Brazil should just be using the middles so much. And it looks like this game, Fernando's really throwing it into the middles. And he's connecting well with them. Like their window is so huge. So, yeah. And again, same thing. Look at this outside here. He's getting happy feet, lots of steps, lots of jumps. He jumps here and then steps, and then he's late. And then he doesn't get any touch on that ball. Okay, be balanced, be relaxed up there. I've heard it from Diego Nick Perez. He said volleyball is a lazy sport, you know. And what he means by that is just you need to be relaxed. You need to just be patient back there, or else you're going to be selling yourself out on one single thing, and anything could happen because there could be a block touch like this right here. And if you're not balanced, you can't react to it. Spin a float in the net. Float serve. In. Good pass. Let's see that pass real quick. Good shuffle. Good angle. Cushions it. Passes it high. And there again. Even though this middle completely, fully commits on this guy. That's a big guy too. That's a big middle. He's just got too much of an advantage. He goes OT on him. If I'm Fernando, I'm sitting in the middle a ton, dude. Oof. Let's see that move. But like this by the middle, I like this by the middle right here. Like this guy is relaxed up there. He takes a step and then he's relaxed right here. From here on, he's just sitting there. Watch this Brazilian middle. He's sitting there waiting, hits a split steps and goes. And he's right. He might be a little bit late, but he's covering the seam. He's taking up a good amount of space. And he can always get faster, okay? He can make this move faster. He can learn how to do that. But if he's wrong all the time and guessing all the time, you can't really fix that, you know? You can't get better off of that. If you're just blocking the outside when it goes to the right side, then you can't get better at that. So. Honestly, on defense with men's volleyball, just touch the ball. Because if you just get a palm on it like that, it might just pop up, you know, and then you guys can learn how to scramble off of that. And it looks like Mojic just went early here. Didn't transition much. Didn't get himself off. Kind of just waited. Went early. Took a bunch of steps. And then he has to go straight up like that. Loses a bunch of his physicality. Goes after Fernando's hands, and he's not even close. He's really hurting himself a lot with these bad approaches almost. You know, but this right here is so nice. It's a good pass. Gets that guy up there. Gets on there on the right tempo. Reaches high with this and just dunks it straight down. Quickly. Because, again, and this is a great example of when I tell you guys, whatever decision you're going to make, do it quick. Because watch Lucarelli's hands here. He's taking the line, And then because Modric does what he's doing quick, when Lucarelli starts seeing that it's going in the seam, he dives his hands, but it's too late. Okay? Do it quick. Do it quick. See the opportunity. Take advantage of it quick. Lucarelli down the line. Good serve. A little too fast there. Again, same type of thing here. Swinging down that line quick so that guy can't dive his hands. I like this explosive move here by him being able to get his feet there. His feet are past his hips, which helps him go straight up. Bang. It just chips on the line, you know. Maybe he could have reached towards that ball a little bit better. You know, I want to go back to this one real quick. Yeah, I would say maybe he could have gotten his feet to the ball a little bit better. He kind of stopped himself a little bit short, but maybe that's the plan. So I can't, like, maybe he's supposed to take cross there. I can't really say. I would say for this one, make sure he gets his feet there first, gets his feet around the ball first, because then if you're passing, you know, crooked like this, leaning one way, falling one way, the ball is bound to miss forward. But then with Fernando, as long as it's high and he can get his hands on the ball, you're chilling. Especially with these Brazilian middles, man. As long as he can get his hands on the ball with these Brazilian middles, he can just throw it into that massive window of theirs. Nice, I like this shot here. I like it a lot because he contacts it super high, goes to an angle. He gets dug, but it's a good little pressure swing there. Again, even though Lucarelli's not a guy that's like shifty with his sets or anything like that, these guys are still so patient with it. They're balanced. They're not fully like, even he's just balanced. They each make like a split step. Blockers move. They close the line really well. Huge, huge, huge press into the middle of the court. Really nice move. Let's watch that full speed real quick. Balanced, neutral, goes. I really like it. And look at how close they are jumping from. Like, they're really close. And this guy's allowed to drift a little bit. This guy's not allowed to drift as much. And that ends up having them close that block. Ooh, almost trickled. Okay, we got 21-19 here. Brazil up 2. Oof, I would have liked to see him swing down that line here. But maybe that's why they're leaving a little bit of line open, is because this guy doesn't really like the line. But like this, look at how quick this outside makes his move here. And but then this guy, I think his name's Flavio. I think his last name's Flavio. But like, if he's this loaded, okay, but then it's hard for him to get up. Like, it's almost like if you, and I think I said this last time too, but if his hips are here when he's loaded, if his hips are here when he's loaded, but then as he starts going, he has to go higher. Like, you see these, let me go. Now his hips are higher. That probably means you got too low, okay? But look at how quick that outside makes his move. He just might have needed to press it a little bit earlier. But like, I like that move because he's loaded and then he goes quick. Quick like a middle, he just didn't press well enough there. If he presses there, I think he's getting a hood because he had his hands on the ball and everything. Really nice here by this guy, this Henrique guy. Setting it right into the block, just letting it sit there. If it catches them and goes through, it's kind of awkward for them. They're deeply out of system. If he gets it, he can play it straight to the center there. And now this is a good press by Modric here. And like, he does this type of move here a lot of the time, where he just goes quick, 2 feet, jump, but he presses so well. He's one of the best blocking outsides in my opinion, because he makes some moves like this, man. And again, he's pressing. As he's jumping, he's pressing. But then right before it hits his hands, he presses even more because he's higher at that point. Bang. Really Nice. 21-21. Wow, what a tied game here. Fernando dunking it. And this is, again, proof that you don't need to be a 6'10" setter to physically dump the ball, okay? I don't even know if this, his elbow is barely going above the tape. That's fine. He can still get his full hand on the ball, have some power to do it. That's amazing. Ooh, yeah. And again, look at how slow this guy gets out of his load here. He's super loaded, super low, but then it's really hard for him to get up, and then he's late. Which is he can be late, but if you look at it, I think part of the reason why he's being late is because he's loading himself too much. Okay. Bang. Out of bounds. Wow. How is this touched? Wow, that's crazy. I did not think that was touched. Floater to Enrique, Fernando to the middle again. Again, they are feeding the middle. And every 3 or 4 pass, they are getting it to the middle. Because, again, they want, these are their, I'm not going to lie, they have amazing pins, but the middles are their best options. Okay? And bang. And if these guys are going to leave and go to the pins every time and not help on the middle, this is going to be free money every single time. These middles are so good. And then out of bounds by that guy. I don't remember what his name was. Fernandez. Okay. Floater. Oof. Let's see this real quick. And yeah, he just makes the wrong angle there. Pushes it too far. Ball's up. Let's see what he decides. Okay. Yeah, if Modric would have been up, this might have been a good tip because the block would have been here, and then maybe this is the space that's hard for the libero, but oof. And then they just aren't able to recover because Fernando is really, really far. But gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. And you see this guy kind of just reach off the net a little bit just to hey, I'm late, I think it's going here, try and soft touch it, but it just didn't work out. Yeah, and that's the first set, man. Good take by this outside here. Enrique tips it into the block. Nobody's here. He doesn't even hesitate. He goes. He immediately goes. There's no point in hesitating and expecting somebody else to go. Just go for the ball. Okay. Perfect. Going to the outside. Ooh. Good grab by Souza here. Grabs the ball, throws it back in there. I just want to see that. Yeah. And that middle, I think he was just very close to the net. The ball ended up kind of behind him, and he just had to kind of aggressively tip it. Wasn't able to get around the block, and that's fair enough. And overpass. Again, every single touch. I wonder how many times I've said again today. That's crazy. But, anyways, even on a touch like this, you want to just miss here. Okay, if it's super easy, yeah, you can dime it and put it up there and, whatever. But you want it around the 10-foot line. You guys can find a swing. But instead it just goes over the net here. That's a tough one. He kind of just got hit. But anytime you can shape your angle, shape it toward the middle of the court on a deck, on a dig. Oops. I said it. Y'all heard it. And setter just missed over the net here, but he touched it. That's funny. Yeah, and Flavio, that middle just loads himself so much. And I just don't think he's explosive from that posture right there. And Fernando being so deceptive and gunslingery it makes an easy set like that super deceptive for him, and then it ends up getting a good gap there. But that dude just swung to the line, swung to the setter's arms there. Out of bounds. Ooh, wow. It was actually closer than I thought it would be. Big serve. Yup, up the pipe. Wow. Beautiful. Beautiful. And it's a really good angle there by Mojic, too. Yeah. And, like, once he goes, he doesn't have to slow down because he timed it right, you know? And then he contacts it high, brings it into an angle. I would have probably recommended he swing a little bit more angle, but it worked out. Like, as long as he's past the block, who cares? Again, whatever. Like, you don't have to be a 6'10" setter to be physical at the net, you know? And Fernando's just getting his hands on the ball, even though he's max jump, fully extended, probably only fingers on the ball, but he's able to stop Mojic there on the overpass because he's just directly on the ball, reaching straight for the ball, not wasting any time, not wasting anything. He's just going straight for the ball there. And Brazil actually goes off speed a decent amount. You know, like when it's not a great situation for them, they actually do go off speed a decent amount for how physical they are as a team, like how many massive swings they take. They actually take a good few off speed shots. Yeah. And I like how much he's turned towards the cross here, especially with how far this set is coming. He's able to just see the ball, swing at it, and it makes it easy, you know? Like, he doesn't have to wait for that ball to get to him. He can go to the ball, you know? Perfect pass, over top of the middle, bang, off the hands. And as long as he stays high, Fernando shouldn't be able to do much with him. But that's not a bad soft touch by Fernando, really. Float serve from the setter. And Lucarelli's kind of struggling with some passes right now. Just some floats into the platform. But I like this run a lot, dude. Like, it's a good run. And if it would have connected better, that would have been really sweet. Because I think right here, if he would have swung, he could have swung deep down that line. Probably could have hit here if he had the right angle and stuff. But that off-speed shot is still really nice. Like, I think he might have, unless they run it to a spot, but I think he could have maybe picked it off right there if he would have, you know, went a little closer to the center. But that's a really nice shot. Let's see how smooth that is. And again, he did it very quickly, very subtly. I don't know if he decided that late, but he showed this and then just slowed down right there. Right at the end of his swing, he slowed down. Maybe that takes a little bit of a toll on your shoulders, but it's worth it. Every point counts, man. Really good press by Allen. Look how far over he's pressed there. Wow, he might have gotten net there. I don't know. Fernando, serve, out of system. And we got Mujinovic, my boy, the athletic dude. Taking an out of system ball on the outside there. And triple block. And I think, you know, Mojic could have bunched there a little bit more and just been a little bit more sold out on going, because if he just didn't see that Lucarelli was not an option and this was the only option, then I think he needs to see that better so that he can close a little bit better than this. Still a good touch and a good dig too off that block. Was it the middle that touched it, or yeah, I think it's the middle that touched it. Wow. Yeah, and then Allen's just ready to go, ready to get up there. Smart man. And he takes a physical swing. Fernando into the seam. Good dive. Good dive. And again, like, I mean, he's super tall, so he's able to just jump off a vert and take a good angle. But, yeah. But, let's go back. But while he jumps into this angle here, he's not back behind the net, he's over the net. He's still pressing. Like, get as close to the net as you can. You know, and when the outside goes a little bit far, like that ball's on his right hand here, he's a bit far. Like, you would usually want his left hand on this ball, and if he was, then he probably would have closed the block, and it wouldn't have trickled through like this. But middles, don't stop yourself short here. Okay, don't stop yourself short. Close to the block. Even if he goes too far, you can agree, okay, you went too far, let's not do that. But this right here where it trickles through is so much harder to dig than a cross-court swing where these guys both read, oh, they went too far, it's probably going across. I think there's a better chance of them digging that, you know? Perfect pass here. Let's see that from Lucrelli. Bang. Holds the angle well. Bang. And, you know, they really space out these routes here between the middle and the pipe. And then Henrique's just taking a really nice swing to that deep corner. Lucrelli gets two passed off the hands. Milinovic. Really good swing by him just to swing deep. Like, if that doesn't touch the block, I would assume that's going from here. Yeah, that's a really nice swing. Like, that's landing somewhere over here. Wow, that's a really nice swing. Really, really nice. But then even when the block's there, it still is enough pace and enough height for it not to get blocked. A little beach set there. Dang, dude. I feel like he could have just pressed this into the block here. I don't know how far he was from the block, but that's not very far for him. Like, I feel like he could have maybe went, like, at least gone higher, but if he's tight enough, just press that ball into the block and make him, like, joust him into his elbows, because nobody's a good jouster with their elbows. You got no control, you got no strength. It's really weird. Let's see that move by Modric. 1 step, 2 steps, balanced. It's like heavy, like it's almost like a heavy split step on defense. Ooh. Rough pass out of system. A little bit of a messy triple block there, but it worked out. I like Fernando closing to the line here. Middle doesn't really close to him. He kind of stops himself short, but middles should have the freedom to do so. You know, but when they get hit, when that block gets hit, they are not very closed. So that could have trickled through, but it hit his arm, honestly. Tries to chop it a little bit slow. A little bit of a change up there, out of bounds. It looks like just, never mind, he got hands. I've gotten got with the hands maybe 3 times now. I don't know why I can't see these micro touches for some reason. Roll shot. Libero steps in. They're out of system. And they're putting these out of system balls very far off the net. They're not really giving these guys too many options. Sorry. I got an out of system ball yesterday where I should have jousted it, and I was mad about it. Out of system, well, not fully out of system here. Middle has to, like, push this libero away from himself here so he can run his route. Get out of here. And Modric makes a huge move down the line here. If you see it, go do it. But look at how pressed he is. As he's going up, he's still pressed. He's still over the net. If he gets hit here, it's probably going deep 6. But then when he presses, it ends up going straight down. Huge block move. And, like, you should sometimes drift into it when you jump and then you realize, oh, shoot, okay, I made a mistake. I'm going to dive line, I'm going to jump, keep going. But, like, this is a huge move by Mojic. And he hits a split step here. He hits a split step. That's the chair, don't worry. Split step, pushes off, negative step, fast, feet, jumps, dives, block. And Fernando's not happy about that. Lucarelli to the middle. Look at how much he draws still. Like, these middles draw so much still. They pull, they open up their body so much. And then they can just swing. But, wow, that's a crazy swing. And this is the cross that I'm talking about. Like, this is the cross that he should be taking as often as possible. Because he's up there. Fernando's not doing much. Swings super hard downward. Past the block. Again, he's starting his approach very far outside the court here. Bang, starting there. Going to the court. Opening himself up, swinging through, swinging high. Bang. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful swing there. Nope, misserved. Float, spin to float. Hands outside. Bang. Oh, and if that's a miss, that's a small miss, but again, like, I think he approached from inside the court here a little bit more than last time, and he's like falling backwards a little bit, and then he ends up not having enough to bring that ball down into the court there. And so, like, you look at the past two swings, you look at this one where he starts his approach here, and he has a ton of momentum from this point to there, and, like, he can just bring that through. But then the next one, he starts his approach here, has a lot of momentum going here, isn't able to get on top of that ball, has to go like this, which makes him have worse hand contact, and he rips it out of bounds a little bit there. And, like, it's a small miss. It's a very small miss. But I'm just saying, like, if he wants to hedge his bets, he should take that angle of approach every single time. Especially against Fernando. Like, against a really small blocker like that where you have a mismatch, you want to exploit the cross as much as you can. Oh, yeah. Good timing for Fernando to do that. He obviously faked out the middle. But if he's missing the window, it doesn't matter because it's really hard for Lucarelli to do something here. I think the Brazilian pins should be able to adjust a little bit better there, especially knowing that you have Fernando setting for you. You know that you're going to have to adjust to some balls because that's just Fernando's style. But if you can't do that, then you're not in good shape. Ooh. Catches him high. Look at where his arms finish. Okay. His arms finish behind him, way off the court. And of course, it caught him kind of on the chest here. He didn't give him enough, and it kind of like hit him only on the right arm. But just if he's able to get good contact on it and hold that angle a little bit better. Like, you can move up and down with the angle, but you don't want to move backward with the angle, or else that ball's going to finish off the court or finish back behind you. He's facing him, and then he just turns. It's impressive to me. Gets that ball in front of him and swings. It's an impressive swing, honestly. And yeah. And this guy in the sixth spot here, Enrique, he knows that they're going to be going for that over the top of Fernando's swing. Good for him for making a good enough move there. Good swing by Lucarelli, kind of bringing it down underneath the block there, around it. Gets an overpass, and then did the middle touch this. Ooh, he thought it was going to the outside. Ooh. Eesh. Just kind of doesn't give that his peak. And then spatches it a little bit out of bounds there. Oof. It's a rough one to miss. They were going on a run. They had momentum, and now they are dealing with some errors, some misconnections here, some sloppiness coming from Slovenia here after a really nice run to get them back in this game. Mujinovic bringing them back with a little physicality, though. Gosh, that's crazy how high he contacts that ball. All right, let's see here. Also respect for Fernando for chasing that ball, even though it was probably less than a 1% chance that he was getting that ball. Dude, nice set by this middle here. I'm not gonna lie. Just here, stepping in, not much of a hesitation, putting that ball high, letting Allen swing there. That's a really nice set. That's an impressive set, dude. And then they're getting hyped for it, and you should get hyped after that. Like that's some manly energy. That's some fun stuff. That's good. That's impressive. Mujinovic kind of getting too far inside there, kind of getting that ball a little bit behind him, I think. All right, let's see. Mojic ripping a serve out of bounds. Lucarelli missing a serve out of bounds, ripping it. Float serve into the net. Nice. So much for clutch serving, huh? Big block, stops himself short. Again, he stops himself short. He doesn't make a full block move like he normally would. He stops himself here because that's where the ball is. And he gets his left hand on the ball here really well. And he gets a block because of it. Yeah, it's perfect. Perfect left hand on the ball. Covers it. Nice. Ooh. And similarly, on a triple block, you want to get your head on the ball. For most teams, I'd say. You want to get your head on the ball so you're covering that ball right there. Wow, it's really nice, honestly. Fernando, they're not in good shape right now. Yeah, a little slop ball, a little sloppiness. You just gotta hustle, you gotta find a way. And they do not. Yeah, that's tough. I just want to see this swing. And, if you're forced to, side spin, cut this ball right there, you might want to keep that ball in between you and the net a little bit more so you can swing through. Good pass. Very nice. And they're just going to feed the big boys right now, whether it be the middle or this 7-foot outside. They're feeding some big boys. Slips. Lucarelli. I don't like that. I do not. I don't. Maybe it's not the worst idea. He sees that this guy's late, but that middle throws his hands into the seam there. Good for him. Honestly, good on ya, middle. And then Darlan, the big dog. I don't understand why he wasn't starting for this game, but hey, I don't know. Maybe this guy's just better. I don't know. Good swing, OT, swinging deep, keeps it high to that deep corner. That's a really nice swing. Good job, Mujinovic. I like Mujinovic, I really do. I think he's a super physical young player, super high potential. Just a little bit of consistency, a little bit of smoothness, and he'll be just fine. Yeah, and that angle's really difficult to take when he's coming on straight on like this because his shoulders are just there. He's not able to swing through at it, so it's kind of tough. And again, pressing is so important because sometimes he'll get a soft block on this, but these ones are frustrating when you don't press enough and it goes in between you and the net. Like, that's frustrating. You know, it's really annoying when that happens. So you want to just press over the net, figure it out. Ooh, nope, we're not. I think it looks like Slovenia's kind of playing some of the younger guys here, young setter and Mujinovic, just to see what happens. Good for them. Let's see how these guys do. I don't think I've ever seen this setter here play. I don't like that that blocking footwork too much. But if he's trying to be physical on a shuffle, then fair. Good. There we go, Mojic. There you go. Now you're closing the block. Kind of. He's still closing it with his hands every single time. But he presses well enough so it doesn't really matter. Like, he's physical enough where he can compensate with his arms and still make a huge, huge block move. But let's go back to this real quick. But because he doesn't close, he has to be even better with his hands here. Like, he has to shape his block really well, kind of almost facing the hitter and then finishing towards the middle there. See that? Because if he didn't shape his hands and move his hands towards the middle there, then he might have gotten a trickle, but he's able to contact it well enough where it's fine. So he can get away with it, you know, but not recommended for everyone. It's not the perfect form or perfect anything like that, if you know what I mean. I think that's just out. We got 8-4 here. Slovenia's up in this third set here, but wow. Like, this right here is fine. This right here is great. And look at where Mujinovic takes his approach from. He's taking it from inside the court, keeping that, like, he's facing this pin right here, you know, and that ball's just traveling in front of him, and he goes and gets it, and he's able to swing line, seam, cross everywhere. He's able to swing through with his whole body. He doesn't have to take anything off of his arm swing to swing down the line or anything, you know, like I think he's giving himself a good opportunity. And again, right there, same thing. He kicks himself in. Watch, he gets there. He's on his normal approach, and then he says, oh, okay, the ball's coming from over there. Let me just kick myself in a little bit more. And then takes his approach, allows that ball to be in front of him. Bang. Lets it travel. Like, that's a tough. Just letting it travel in front of you and then just swinging once it gets in front of you. Like, it's almost like a timing thing where he just has to time his swing to where he's picking it off like a middle kind of would. But it's from the other angle, so it's kind of interesting. You know, maybe hitting a really fast tempo on the right side might just be a good exercise to do for righty right sides. Just to feel that, just to make sure that your arm swings fast enough and make sure you're keeping that ball in front of you. Make sure you're being as physical as possible on your approach. Mujinovic goes into the block there on that one. Why are they standing right in front of that ball there? You just sit there and watch. They're barely getting out of the way there. Mujinovic sets it over. Let's see. And, you know, I'm not going to lie, I would have liked to see Mujinovic kind of reach towards the ball here and then shape his hands into the court. But it's still a good touch. Gets him back in system right there. And you don't want to miss the pipe low, because then he's here, he's scrunched, he's swinging low, and these guys are able to take that away. Gosh, that song's stuck in my head. Out of bounds, see ya. Spin serve, out of bounds, missing serves, missing swings, missing it all. Little Mojic floater there. Good touch. And this is why it's so important for these guys to just be up, you know? Like, this isn't a huge block by Mujinovic, but he's able to just get his hands up there, and he gets an amazing soft block. Like, those pin blockers helping with the middle, most of what they're doing is just trying to get soft blocks. Oof, that's tough. That's sad. Missing over the net there is just sad because they just made a really good play. 11-11. Wow, it's a close one. Low tips it. The middle gets it on defense. Nice. Puts it super high for Mojic to make sure he can get on his route. Runs it again, sneaks it through the net pretty much. Just destroys the tape. Yeah. Little sigh of relief there from Mojic because he just scored off the tape. Good touch. Yeah. And let's see if they use it. Yeah, I like that. I like that choice there by the setter because they just ran a bunch of pipes, and then he's able to just swing before that middle can get his hands up because of that. And like this is a very subtle thing. I think this is something that setters should add into their deception bag, I guess you could say, because it's very simple and you don't really have to like do anything too crazy. You just lean back a little bit and it looks like you're setting back. Tricked him, made him lag a little bit even. I mean, actually, I don't think he was watching him, but it made that middle lag enough to where he can just swing over top of that space right there and into that gap, and they get another free ball. And he runs it back to him. I think like this is still the same thing where he's kind of letting that ball get over, trying to look back a little bit, and then just flicking it out there, finding a good window. Milinovic gets caught on the middle, and this guy's able to just swing through. Really like that line swing. He's starting his approach so far out. Look at that. Come on, dude. He's almost outside the blue. It's amazing. And then he is approaching. Hips are facing the setter. When he swings, his hips start coming through. His shoulders start coming through. He goes a little cross body there. Is able to get it. He keeps that ball in between him and the net. Pops it through. Nice. Oh. Good serve by that guy, just contacting the high and ripping it, with a lot of cut. Ooh, I want to see this guy in a pipe. I think I saw that last game, but I'm not sure. But then you see him take his angle from out there, and then when that ball misses inside, it's really hard for him to, he has to jump to the left. It's just difficult. It's more difficult. Obviously, he still gets a sweet kill there. But I think it just looked like it went in between his hands. Short. Ooh, that would have been nice. That would have been pretty nice. Let's see if this guy can pass. Ooh, holds the angle and all. Bang. Makes a good move. Holds the angle. Sacrifices himself. Finds the window to the middle. Very nice, Fernando. And I like this adjustment by the middle. He's starting a swing. He doesn't have to change his swing to tip. He's able to just get his hand on the ball and kind of throw it, flick it down quickly. It's not like a full tip. It's like a slap almost. Wow, they are getting so many of these stupid touches, bro. What is happening with that? What is going on with that, dude? That's crazy. They've gotten so many of those tiny little finger touches there. And Lucarelli's struggling to pass in this seam here. Let's try and figure out why. Swings his arms a little bit, misses the contact. He didn't hit the sweet spot on his arms at all there. But then you see that libero just did. And they're running into this gap here. They are just going for that gap. And this right here is that main swing. Like anywhere from here on is that main swing when you're running this run here. Because this middle has a shuffle dive at most. And this guy just jumps and kind of dives his hands forward. And that space is just open for the taking. Let's see, back, right side. Oh, yeah. It's a nice one. Floater. Ooh. Hey, good hands, honestly. You know, he doesn't get it on his forehead, but he just goes so quick with his hands, so strong with his hands, and finishes to where it's still a perfect pass. Lucarelli. Really nice to just swing through, open himself up so he can take a full swing. Give your arm swing a chance, okay? Oh, both the swing and the dig are impressive here. Wow. Yeah. And you kind of want to let your arm be right next to your body here when you're doing that, you know, just to finish through. But that guy just digs it easily. And I feel like if Mojic is able to keep that left shoulder a little bit more in front, he might be able to get more power on that ball to where it's harder to dig. But I don't know. Not sure. Ooh. Why not? Again, pressure sometimes cracks people. Okay? That's not a huge swing. That's just him trying to put a little bit of pressure on him. And pressure will make people crumble sometimes. Okay? This guy's passing well. I like it. He's passing well. Finishes the platform high. Doesn't miss behind him too bad, I guess. Goes forward, but still, he's doing pretty well. And now he takes his angle super far out. He takes it super far out. But if you asked him to swing line here, he's not going to have much power. So it's like that's his only option is going across there. Ooh. I would like to see him swing line there. Like again, he swings cross because it seems to me like that's the only thing available. Like this is his max out opening up, you know, like right there. And to swing lines here, I'm open here. That's not much. That's not much power to that line. You can almost measure that power by just how much shoulder room you have to swing through, you know? I don't know. He takes that angle so hard, and I'm just not a fan of it. You know, some people are. I know, what is it? Cubic? Whatever the, again, same type of thing here. Takes it from outside the court here, and then he just doesn't really have much available to him because he's trying to slap at it, trying to compensate by slapping at it a little bit and kind of like making your arm swing do more than your body could if you just let your body do it. And he does better with this one, but still, he just swings cross. He's able to get off the hands there, Mojic. 22-22 in the third here. Great pass. Great pass by Stern. Ooh. Again, this right here, we talked about this earlier in the game. Mojic has a double block up, and he makes a stinky move. Opens up that seam, gets his middle tooled. Okay? Last time it was just a roll shot that snuck through and went out of bounds. But that one right there could have been a block. It could have been a block if he pressed forward instead of making so many moves. You know, and making moves like that isn't always the wrong thing, but it's not always the right thing too. Like you just have to feel that out, and if you trust your middle and trust your defense, you can put a solid wall up there with your middle. How'd that finish? With a miss serve or an ace? Ooh, wow, that makes sense. Bang, bang, really nice serve. But you can trust your defense, trust your middle blocker to close. If you guys put up a wall, then your defense can get a swing, get a dig, like you guys are chilling, you know. But you gotta trust it, press forward, take up space instead of trying to do all the work. It's the same type of thing where a setter tries to fake people out too much and then bang. But like if you just put up a solid wall like this, where if they go out the seam, that's probably not getting through. He swings it there at the hands and it's got it good. Ooh. Again, same thing. Like that's a really nice block here by him. Pressing, not trying to do too much, whatever. He's able to get the block, and then now they have a free ball because of it. And he's approaching on a one ball there. It's fun. It's a fun one. Oh, dude. Oh, I would like to see this, or this here. Just because. But he misses out there. That's sad. And this guy's been playing well, too. Hey, but with how many touches they've got off the hands, I don't blame Lucarelli for playing that. He's just got that quick. He doesn't have the best footwork. Like, he almost like falls towards the ball and just compensates with his hands. But his hands are doing well because he's just quick and physical. He's not being dainty with that ball. Like, that thing's spinning. He's not trying to put it up all cute. He's just, quick hands. And he's able to at least get it to the spot, If he wants to get perfect, give that setter a little bit more time, do a little bit more, he can move his feet better and use his legs too. But at least he's got the hands figured out, Let's see, inside, tight, and he throws it down quick. Hands on the ball, bang. Ball's still up. Good for that middle. Let's see what he does here. Just in, scoops up. Oh, come on, swing down the line there. Oh, I would have liked to see that. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the set, maybe it wasn't in front of him enough to swing down the line, but that's what he had. And with right here, with them coming from over here, you guys are on that tempo. You got to expect that he's going to stop himself short here. Play still goes on. Ooh, whoa. Did he go into the net or what? Oh, he went under. Okay. Oof, that's scary. That would be a rough injury for Brazil. Again, I don't know. They're passing 4, so I guess Lucarelli should take that seam with no hesitation. But it's that overlap type of thing where he should be behind, he should be forward. But it's his option if he wants to take it. It's his obligation that he should be taking it, he should always be there on that type of serve, but he shouldn't hesitate. And he's able to just throw it in, and if there's space, it's going to trickle through. Such a silly way to score. Ace. Big serve, overpass. Oh gosh. Forced a single option there because he didn't take care of an overpass. Oh, I think he was trying to give Fernando a little bit of room to have an option to swing and everything, but you gotta just be simple and get a good pass there. Come on, man. You're at the VNL level. You gotta pass a free ball. Bang. Good option there. Good option. Over the top, especially with how much they've used the middles, and then Lucarelli's just got that space there. Bang. Goes through. Really nice take. Good pass by Lucarelli, and he's just straight into it. Okay, he holds the pass, he finishes the pass. After he's done, he finally decides, okay, I'm on that route, and he can go fast. He has time to dime the ball, focus on it, make sure it's good, and then go, because he put up a good ball. But if you don't focus on the pass, finish the pass, and get a good pass, then you might have to rush even more, and you might not be able to be on a big option. Free ball. Let's see what happens. Mojic off the hands to the 6. So many soft touches. Fernando gets a ton of soft touches. Out of bounds. What are they talking about here? Somebody. Boom. Okay. They're begging for calls a little bit there. Don't like that. Let's see. Okay, now this one's better. Look at how his hips stayed at that same level that time instead of him going up until he didn't go up until he started making that jump. That's a lot better. So I guess maybe it's not the. Actually, no, he looks a lot more. He doesn't look as low as last time, and then his hips just stay, and he jumps. And presses immediately really well. He's late, he's getting off the ground right before this. Stern is already starting a swing, but then he presses and then he's good. Oh, that's a really nice move there. You see this one leg move here. It's a pretty good move. It looks like it snuck through the seam there, but it's a pretty good move. Pretty good little move. And like if you're late, you might as well like you're gonna be up still if you just make a one leg move, so it's good. So just have that in the bag, you know? Ooh, yeah, it's like that mindset switch of huge block to putting pressure, or getting a huge kill to putting pressure on. It's that same type of mindset of I see the situation, I'm doing something good. There's the Bick that I wanted to see. Over the top, huge dude. Kablam. Yeah, he's hyped for that. He should be. Bam. And his window is definitely very different from Lucarelli's on that one, but bang. And good for Fernando being able to get that up there for him. Really nice set. Really nice choice, really nice set. Phenomenal execution from the boys. I like Mojic forcing this to his left side here because it's so much easier to hold that angle instead of like have it behind you and then try to push it towards that pass. And he kind of just like jumps and puts himself away from the ball here, like jumps and puts his body away so that it has space. Really nice. And then bang. I think he's just ripping at Fernando's hands, if I'm being honest. Like, I don't think he's trying to go OT on it even. I think he's just ripping in that area at this point. And they're going after the Bick now. Now they're established. Because the middle is established, they have the Bick established too. Bang. Good swing by Mojic. Now this is what I wanted earlier, man. Full arm swing, deep into the court, contacts it as high as he possibly can for that situation. It's a really nice swing. Really nice one. Oops. Floater. Again, same thing, where he's forcing it to his left side. Because in my opinion, like, when you look at him passing it on his left in zone 5 versus him passing it on his right in zone 5 from a floater, it just looks better. Like, it just looks cleaner and easier. Like, he just makes the angle, holds it, jumps a little bit, bang, he's good. But then when he was trying to pass it on his right, he's got to, like, do extra, do this and that, and it just is harder. It's just more work, more effort, more precision, Yeah, it looked like Fernando kind of tried to do a little Nikolov there. Yeah, he did. Fair enough. Go for it sometimes, man. Yeah, look at how open he is to the setter there, and bang, swings through, off the hands. I don't know. I feel like these guys I feel like they can go OT on each other so much more than they do. Bam, through the seam, quick seam. It's almost like a loading split step there. I think we've seen that a few times now, but he's still late. But I like his choice here. Okay, he's very late. It was a perfect pass. This is probably going to happen. He loads like he can go up in the middle, runs, jumps off of one, presses immediately. At least he's taking away the bounce. Goes through the seam. It's tough. And if this guy doesn't drift, I think he might be able to get this ball a little bit better there. But he's just drifting past that ball. Honestly, with righty right sides, I would bait the line as much as possible because it's so much easier to see them switch to opening up enough to swing down the line. Like you can tell when they open up enough to do that. Big serve. Ooh, off the tape. Good save by the middle. Yeah, because when they open up to swing on that line as a righty right side, they just open up their entire body. Wow, what a floating route there. Wow, that's crazy. And good, like, it's almost like an active hand while he's hitting it. Like while he's swinging, He just has an active hand, and he's able to either change the angle of his hand, have some finger action, have some wrist action. It's very impressive. It works really well. It again makes your window bigger. Nice little Lucarelli dig there. I'm gonna sneeze. Oh my gosh. You. Oh my goodness. Huge swing there. That's the OT I'm thinking of, you know. Contacts it high, keeps it high, goes deep corner. Let's see. And if he doesn't have to reach in like that, he might be able to touch this ball. Okay? Because he might be higher than he is right here if he's able to be straightforward like the middle is. You know, he's still pressed a ton, but he has to press low like that just to make sure he closes the seam enough. But if he would have closed a little better with his legs, he might be able to just touch that ball because it looks like it just traveled right past his left hand. Let's continue though. Big serve, dimes it. Good take. He's pushing forward, that ball's in front of him. He jumps on the middle early, presses super hard, bang, just gets on top. Like, look at how much space this middle's covering as he's jumping and blocking that ball. That's, oh my gosh, he's covering a ton there. And that middle just had very few options there. Ooh. Okay, out of bounds. We got 15-11. I assume that they're going to kind of start to run away with this here. Oof, he almost, twisted his ankle there, it looked like. Okay, maybe not. Over the top. And I like how they have to respect, they still have to respect the middle here. You know, he still has to respect the middle enough. And, he didn't press early enough. If he pressed early and low, I think this is a better block touch. Possibly even a block. Good save. Look at that. Do whatever it takes. Keep the ball alive. Just popping it back into the court. Very impressive. Oh, and Mojic throws it out of bounds. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Mojic, you silly goose. One of the best outsides in the world. Everyone. Holy crap. Mojic. Let's see this transition here. 6 spot. Oh, because Fernando's out there blocking on the right side. And then block touch. Bang. He transitions out there because there's not much space here. Bang. Let's see. Oh, it's a small miss. Very small miss. Wow. That's a really small miss. 16-12. Let's finish this puppy out. Huh? Let's get through this, huh? Spin serve, dime ski, Lucarelli, big move. Grabs that high ball, just tries to touch it. It was a good touch though. Let me see that move in the 6 real quick. Wow, look at that length. Dude, he is fully extended just touching that ball just to keep it alive. Okay. Is that a bickable run? Yes, it is. I think that's in. Keeps it in front of him. He's able to swing through. Yeah, looks into me, but it was out. I was wrong. I suck. Okay. And he's sprinting this setter here. He's sprinting towards the ball. But then because he's facing here so much, he has to just try and rotate at the end there. And I think if he would have maybe just set the right side, that would have been fine. He's out of system anyways, but he just has to compensate. And actually, he doesn't hit a bad ball. It might be just a little bit tight. Yeah, I don't know. Definitely misses Modric's window. But I don't know. What's the point of jump setting this? I don't know. Personally, I think he should have just tried to go full out of system, get a good ball somehow. This kid's freaking out, it looks like. But they work it out. They find a way. Mojic. Nice swing. He took 3 swings here. All first 2 were tips. Last one was a full swing. And he was not scared on any of them, you know? That gap, man. Again, that priority swing that he's trying to take is just anywhere in the one spot there. Beautiful. Float. Hands tight. Nice. A little bit of a misconnection, or this middle's late. It looks like this middle's late. Or maybe it's just fast. It looked fast, maybe. You know, setting's a difficult position, man. I'm going to be completely honest. That is such a difficult position. Like, finding that perfect tempo and repeating it is just so difficult. Such a tough ask. Float, 2013. Again, same thing. Like, this isn't even a perfect thing to look at here. Like, not the best fundamentals for that pass, but it's still a good pass because it's on his left and it's just easier, in my opinion. Float. Let's see, because I think he did what I've been kind of talking about is, like, look at where his arm goes. Look at where those arms goes. Goes behind him. And then look where the ball goes. Behind him. Okay? Finish those hands high instead of behind you. Ooh, they were in there in the net. 21-14. Miljunovic, big old serve. Fernando tries to be physical here. He got his hands. Oh, he just missed it a little bit, I think. But he almost jousted this dude. He really did. Almost. He got OT'd, though. Yeah, it's nice to have a huge setter, but still, it's not the worst. It's not the worst block there. Again, like, he has a ton of line open, but he's not really able to swing into that line because that ball just doesn't get out there for him, I don't think. And no, that's just a bad swing. That's just a bad idea for him. Mojic goes super vertical here and presses so much. And, you know, the reason that he can make such physical moves and be so wide with it is because he presses on the correct timing every single time. Like, it's very rare that he's late on his press or anything like that. Yeah, and, like, right here, again, it's on his midline, and he has to, like, do this little extra shove instead of just kind of, you know, letting it be over on his left and doing it. But it's a good pass. I'm not saying that it's a bad pass. Good swing here. Good quick swing. Takes it real sharp. Really nice. 22-17. There. Oh, that's a dispatch. Plancha. No, maybe. Yeah. Miljunovic is playing well, I think. Good move by that libero. And as he's going through this move, he just holds the correct angle and finishes through. Bang over the top. Chips it off the side there. Really, really nice. And again, lead that D ball. Let that line be that first option. Ooh, huge. That's a huge human being. I'm surprised. I don't know where this guy plays, but I'm surprised he doesn't play in a higher level, like professionally wise. I'm surprised he's not in, like, Italy or something, unless maybe he is. Anyways, good game. Thanks for watching, guys.